In this lesson, I'm going to teach you guys how to compare distributions. In order for us to compare distributions, we need to discuss three important things. First, the center. The center consists of either x bar, the mean, the median, or the mode. We know that the mode is the number that appears the most. Typically, we don't use this unless we see a lot of the same numbers. Then you might just want to mention it in a sentence. X bar is the average, and median, as we've discussed in many videos, is the middle number. We have to discuss the shape of the distribution. Does the shape look symmetrical? In other words, does the left side and the right side look just about the same? Is the shape skewed to the left? Well, skewed to the left means that the average is less than the median. And skewed to the right means that the average is greater than the median, or the average is on the right side. We also are going to talk about the range, which is the max minus the min. We're going to talk about the IQR, which is the third quartile minus the first quartile. And the standard deviation, which I'm going to speak about later in a few videos down the road. So what statistics should we use when we compare box plots? When we are looking at box plots, because typically they're not symmetrical, we want to talk about the median, the range, and the IQR. As far as the shape goes, it doesn't matter if the distribution is a box plot, a stem plot, or any other graphical displays. We discuss symmetry the same way. In this problem here, I have the starting salary of men and women at some company. I see that the women have a minimum of $45,000, let's say $45,000 is their starting salary, and the men have a $50,000 starting salary. When you're comparing it, first you should start off with the center. And you want to use words like higher, larger, more than, however, when you are comparing distributions. Please do not just say the women's average is $70,000 while the men's average is $65,000. That's not really how we compare distributions. So first, we're going to say, on average, it appears that women make about $5,000 more than men at this company. Everything needs to be in context. Another thing that you should do is always say what the numbers are so that the reader understands where you got the 5,000 from. Once we get here, we can take a look at the shape. Well, actually, we can't take a look at the shape just yet. I need a picture, which I'll show in the next slide. So I'm going to talk about the variability or the spread. I'm going to talk about the range in both cases. The range is going to be highest minus lowest. So you should say, right now we have that the highest is 90 and the lowest is 45 for women. So that's a 45. And 150, so that's 50. So the men have a larger range, which means their spread is larger. Also, the IQR is 20, while the IQR for women is 27. So the women have a larger interquartile range, while the men have a larger range. So that's something we can write about. The women appear to have a larger IQR, and then you want to show what the IQR is. So you want to let the reader know that it's 27. While the men have a larger range, and then put the value of the range, which we said was 50. Okay. So that's how you could compare their range. And now let's look at these box plots, okay? So let's see how we're going to construct parallel box plots. I rewrote the numbers over here. And basically, you don't have to start at 0. You can start at any number that you want. Once again, in order to get an idea of what the graph should look like, you should take your highest number and your lowest number, subtract them, and then divide them roughly by 5, because you remember that a box plot is a 5-number summary. So in this case, I saw that 150 is 50. The difference is 50, so I divide it by 5, and I'm making my scale go by tens. You can also do it 90 take away from 45 take away from 90 and do it that way, but I prefer to do it the larger range. So for women, I'm going to go here. I'm going to put min, Q1, median, Q3, and max. And I need to make sure that I label. So I'm going to just put women right here. And for men, I'm just going to go right on top somewhere, doesn't matter where, and put 50, 60, 65, 80, and then 100. And then I'm going to label this men, and you should always label, both the X and Y. You don't need to make a Y, but it's okay if you do. Starting salary at, let's say, company X. Now let's just talk really quickly about the shape of the distribution. Now this is very, very important. The longer the whisker is, or the longer the box is, that's where it's skewed to. So in this case for men, this long whisker is longer on the right side. So the distribution is skewed to the right for men. In other words, the average is probably higher than the median for men. Here, even though the whisker is small here, we have this part of the box that's a bit larger on the left side. So we say that the women, their distribution of salary is skewed to the left, meaning that their average salary is a bit less. So contrary to what the median showed us, the average for women is probably less than the average for men. So that's something really important to take with you. So once again, wherever the whisker is longest or wherever the box is longest, that's where the distribution is skewed to. So in this case, it's skewed to the right because the whisker is longer on the right side, and it's skewed to the left because the box is longer on the left side. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel, send me a message letting me know what you want me to help you with. Have a great day.